there are lots of rumors swirling around about SEC and XRP. And XRP has a huge fan base and a huge base. And yesterday on the crypto Twitter, there was a bazillion of these repostings of a certain SEC proposal that I'm going to talk about. And we're going to look into that precisely. You know, is this rumor? Is it going to happen or not going to happen? I'll give you my take on that. But there's also another rumor swirling around about XRP being classified as a commodity. And we're going to talk about the impact of that and why that might be a little bit more reasonable than the proposal that I'm about to show you that's on the SEC's actual website. And with that, remember that every single day in crypto is an adventure. And if you're not a subscriber, now's the time to subscribe because we give you new content every day, tell you the latest and greatest, as well as some other things that I'm doing to take advantage of this market. So please hit the subscribe button now. And with that, let's get into talking about this first thing, which I think is absolutely wild. Don't know, if it's going to happen this way or not, but let's take a look at this. This is on the Security Exchange Commission's website. It's a comprehensive proposal, XRP as a strategic financial asset for the United States. Now, here's the important thing to remember. Let me click this here. I'm going to tell you if I think this is reasonable or not, probable or possible. Is it possible? Sure. Anything's possible. This talks about economic outlook unlocking trillions through XRP. This is basically saying, look, if we use the global Nostro accounts, 27 trillion, U.S. share of Nostro accounts, 5 trillion, capital released using XRP, 1.5 trillion, annual savings on transaction fees, because it's so much cheaper to use XRP than lots of other means of transferring money. This is saying it'll save us $7.5 billion a year in transaction fees. So this seems reasonable, right? If you use XRP, we're going to save a ton of money on transaction fees. This also talks about classify XRP as a payment network, not a security, remove DOJ restrictions for banks, mandate XRP for bank liquidity, yada, yada, yada. Keeps going and going, and there's a lot of great info in here. The problem is that this is a proposal from an individual that gets sent to the SEC. They have to post it on their website, under certain conditions. So this is a proposal not by the SEC, but an individual named, where is this? Doesn't say who did this, and I can't remember. Maximilian Staudinger. Okay, Maximilian Staudinger. Doesn't work at the SEC. So to me, this is possible. But this thing that's been swirling around the rumor mill all day yesterday on Twitter, or X, I should say, this is probably not probable. That's my opinion. Now, XRP, the XRP Army, put down below if you disagree with me that this is going to happen. And, I think this is someone's really good idea of how it could save us a ton of money. And they present it to the SEC, and it's a proposal. But I don't think it's a very probable proposal. I don't think this is going to happen. If it does, it's certainly not going to be overnight. Now, if it did, it would certainly boost XRP's value, and it would shoot up significantly, and maybe all those numbers with many, many zeros on the web will come true. But right now, I just don't think it's probable. I would love to believe so to some degree, but I don't think it's probable. Now, let me show you something else. This SEC seeks to classify XRP as a commodity. Like Ethereum, Ripple CTO says there was no ICO for XRP like ETH, okay? So they're saying, let's treat it like a commodity. Now, this is possible. Now, is it probable? I consulted my buddies over at ChatGPT. I said, well, what would classifying XRP as a commodity do to the price, right? What would it do to the price? Increased regulatory clarity. Let's face it. If they know that they're a commodity and they're structured as they're scheduled as such, it takes away that it gives you regulatory clarity. It takes away a lot of that uncertainty. So uncertainty equals lower price. Certainty equals higher price. So right off the bat, that clarity alone, I think would, and this is not financial advice, I'm not your financial advisor, it just looks like it would go up higher because the uncertainty of the XRP would go away. Trading on commodity exchanges. There's a lot of money that changes hands on commodity exchanges. And if it's a commodity like grain or frozen orange juice concentrate, These things are traded immensely on the Chicago Board of Trade or Chicago Mercantile Exchange. I used to trade futures and options on the CME or the CBOT. Shift and overnight oversight to the CFTC. So you get away from the SEC and it starts being regulated by the CFTC. And it has a more pro-crypto stance than the SEC did. I don't know if that's true today. But there's lighter regulations and fewer restrictions, so that's a plus, right? That's potentially bullish, as the ChatGPT has told me. Utility and adoption growth, long-term price increase. Yep, because if you have the on-demand liquidity services, and it be boosting that for cross-border payments, more usage of XRP is going to translate into higher dollars on XRP. Short-term volatility. That could cause a sharp price increase. Could cause a sharp price increase. I mean, I think the SEC just dropping the case alone against Ripple would give you potentially a sharp increase in price. But who knows these days? The market is so fickle. So this would be very bullish overall for crypto. Right now, one of the other problems that not a lot of people are talking about is that this payment. The problem with this $125 million settlement. People are like, why don't they just pay that and get on with it? They might have already paid it. The problem is if they're classified as such and they take the beating of payment, they might not be able to be the on-demand liquidity. They might not be able to be the payment system because that would boot them out of being able to be that. So I think they still want to fight that $125 million fine because it could potentially cause them not to be able to do a lot of the things that they want to do because it's going to classify them a specific way. So look, right now, the overall market is still very fearful, very, very, very fearful. There is so much, God, my little buttons aren't working. There's so much fear and greed or fear right now, extreme fear in the market. And I'm not sure why. We have so many bullish things going on. You look at all the legislation that's going through. You got a Bitcoin bill, the Bitcoin bill 2025 by Senator Loomis that's going in and say they'll buy 1 million Bitcoin in the next 5 years. That's a huge amount. I mean, think about it. 1 out of every 21 Bitcoin would be owned by the U.S. Treasury or the United States of America's in their fund. That's incredibly bullish. And you have a lot of other things like that happening in other countries. The UAE, I think, or was it? The UAE, I think, was saying that they want to buy 1 million also. That'd be 2 out of every 21 Bitcoin. So 1 out of almost every 10, 11 would be, or 10 and a half. 1 out of every 10 and a half Bitcoin would be locked up in a strategic reserve. That's crazy. 10% locked up, right? What would that do to price? You have so many bullish things happening. Markets actually, I mean, look at this is short term. If we look at the long term on XRP right now, I mean, we're rebounding a bit. We're at 2. I have a short term trade through BTCC. Look, if you're going to trade, check out BTCC. I have a link down below for BTCC for leveraged trades. They're offering a lot of incentive for new users. So you can check it out, see if it's for you or not. Make sure to read the terms of service. Also read my disclosures down below before you do anything. And if you have any questions, join the Discord because we talk about trading quite frequently. And there's also other links in there. So right now, I mean, if you look at the long term, this is the 1 day, a little higher frame on XRP. We're not doing terrible right now. I mean, here's that floor of support right there. And then you got, let's see, here's definitely a ceiling of resistance there. But we're right there in the middle of that range. And so you can there's probably another bouncing up right now against the ceiling of resistance. And if it can bust through that, I mean, we have potentially to go much higher. And I think people are just waiting on that SEC case to be dropped by Ripple. Dropped for Ripple by the SEC. And the likelihood of that happening, I think, looks very strong, especially if they classify as a commodity that like Ethereum. That would be very, very bullish in my mind. And based on what my buddy at ChatGPT helped me do, I think there's a lot of potential here. And then they can get on with a lot of their payment systems and working with banks and governments to move money around. It would be very bullish. Now, I don't see it going to $10,000 overnight, but I hope this is not financial advice, that we can hit $7 to $10 in this cycle. People think I'm crazy because it can go to $10,000, $35,000. I just don't think that's possible, But just because you move trillions of dollars doesn't make your coin worth trillions of dollars, because that's the velocity of money. That's, because it's happening over and over again with the same money. So it'd be worth a price, a piece of that, right? But not the whole thing. So that being said, that's pretty much all I got. So if you have any questions, comments, put them down below. If you're not a subscriber, like, subscribe, share, and I will see you next time.